country is made up of 28 states. Each state is extremely different in India in many respects. So these states will have different languages, different culture, different food, different dress, different traditions, and they also have very different investment climates. What you also see in India is that different states specialize in different areas, or different cities specialize. So if you were an automobile supplier, you might be in somewhere like Pune or Chennai. If you're an IT company, you would probably be favoring Bangalore, where a lot of the expertise is. If you were in areas like finance, anything to do with finance, then Mumbai is probably the most attractive spots.
It really is a state-by-state issue. Each state's going to have their own regulatory framework. Some states don't allow, particularly foreign direct investment, particularly in retail. And so it is really a question state-by-state for what you're dealing with. I think the other thing that we're seeing is with an election next year, some of the frameworks is changing.
I think, as Neil mentioned, there is a gradual reform process that's been in place. So many sectors now, the majority of sectors, you can have 100% ownership under the automatic route. There's no approval required. You can just come in and set up your wholly owned subsidiary. That didn't exist 5, 10, 15 years ago. That has been an ongoing sort of reform process where most sectors are now available under the automatic route to come in and set up a subsidiary. There are some government agencies that can provide support. There's this Federation of Indian Industries, and the government have set up something called Invest India. The gradual sort of trend is to be one of reform and one of opening it up, making it a little less bureaucratic over a period of time. And India's only been open for foreign investment for the last 20 years. This process started in 1991, and it's been a gradual process, and it will continue to evolve over a long period of time as more sectors open up.
To establish a legal entity in India from start to finish, having all your paperwork filled out and done and dusted, should take no more than 10 to 12 weeks. We hear horror stories of people taking 6 months and a year and beyond. I don't understand the reason for that a lot of the time. So if you set it up in Delhi, for example, and then you need to move it to Mumbai, that process can take 6 months. So it's important that you selected the right base.
Yeah, I think what your comment is very fair to say that the language and the culture are very different as you go across the country, but I think that is the key reason why the level of English is so good in the business space there, because the languages are very different. It's not just a different dialect, but a totally different language they speak across the different the parts of the country. So English is the one language that kind of unifies everyone on that side.
We haven't seen clients have difficulty with cultural adjustment. One thing I will add, the Arbitration Act of India of '96 requires that for an arbitration clause in a contract to be enforceable, it has to be written in English. So it is the language of business as far as what we've seen.
I'll just leave you with 3 sort of thoughts in summary here in terms of doing business in India. The first thing is the uniquely India strategy. If you have a strategy that's worked in another emerging market, don't assume that it's going to work in India. You need something uniquely India. It does take a long time to build a brand in India. It takes a long time to get access to the distribution there and get plugged in. The second thing is the flexibility. Don't be surprised if you have to change your strategy after you've been there for a while. After you've gotten an understanding of the place and the issues and the challenges, you may have to be very flexible and adaptable in terms of the model that you employ there and change it over a period of time. And the final point on that is patience. It takes a long time to build up your business in India. It takes a long time to develop your brand there. You do have to be patient. You can't expect to come in and make money in your first year there. Whether you're looking at India for trade or investment, you should be looking at it with a very long-term horizon as opposed to just coming in and trying to make a quick buck out of what's happening in India.